Oh my gosh, my place is an absolute wreck, but I guess that's okay. Keeping it real, as they say. Maybe too real. So, today, I wish I could, why can't I? This is too bad. Anyway, I have all my, okay, so this is 2 years after sonata treatment. I think I went through 23 cycles after I had my sonata treatment 2 years ago. And this is an update, a 2-year update. So 4 cycles after I had sonata, the excruciating, debilitating 3 to 4 day pain that I was having, it stopped. That's staying in bed all day, screaming to the heavens for the pain to stop. And no matter how much Advil, well, actually, I never overdid it with the Advil, but Advil, which usually takes 1 to 2 pills for pain to subside, wouldn't work. So, and I never took more than what was suggested, recommended. So 3 to 4 cycles after sonata, the pain stopped. However, the amount of blood is and was absolutely uncontrollable still. The amount of clots, like blood pouring out of my uterus for about 3 to 4 days straight, uncontrollable. Like I switched to a menstrual disc to try to help me have some control, and I would be running, within these 3 to 4 the most heavy days within 14 to 17 days of bleeding. 3 to 4 days was just like I had a hole in my uterus, and within like about 4 to 5 hours of each of these 3 to 4 days, usually upon rising, I'd have to run to the bathroom to empty this disc every half hour for about 3 to 5 hours, and empty the disc. But not only just empty, like tons of I would call them afterclots would come out afterwards, and I'd have to empty the disc because the disc was already dumping into my pad. So that's that, and I'm going to go for another procedure now. At the time I did the procedure back in 2023, it took a long time for me to find the information for some sort of sound laser-based, non-invasive, as far as no cutting. I had to find it on my own. The doctor I had didn't know about it. So you have to review my other video. I think it's number 15 to get more comprehensive information. I think I go into more detail with that. But anyway, I did find a doctor who would do the sonata that I found on my own. That my own suggestion. And even though I would say even to this day, I don't think that the sonata worked other than reducing almost completely the pain. I mean, I still have bloating, pressure, and now my headaches are lasting a little longer, it seems, or more frequent, but they're not as intense. So I do still take Advil for those. Again, consistent, relentless research on how to help myself online by myself. And there is a lot of good information out there. So thank goodness for the other women that are putting information about themselves and their experiences out there. So I believe the sonata didn't work for 100% of what it could have and should have, because when I saw the doctor again a month or so ago, she said that I went there, looking now for the next step, which is an endometrial ablation. And I said, why didn't you do that at the beginning, even though sonata is a targeted ablation? She says, well, because most people get the response from the sonata. Which caused me to think, maybe it's my age. I did it when I was, I think, 49, and now I'm 52. So I think I did it when I was 50. I had the first removal of this polypy fibroid at the top of my uterus. Okay, so just to sum up, I have according to the MRI results, I had innumerable fibroids, clusters of fibroids, more than 20 within that enumeration, and 4 of which were like pretty big. So the sonata, I think, had maybe my fibroids were too big, too many, and also my age. Sonata is used for people who want to preserve their fertility and possibly have more children. I am obviously past my childbearing years, but I am in no way past or even into, I don't even think I'm into menopause, or maybe I'm at the beginning of it at my age. And most of the women in my family went through menopause at 58, 59. So I have a long road ahead of me of, of consistent monthly bleeding, like on the dot, it comes and it happens. But now with these fibroids, it might come a little earlier, my period. And so anyway, in trying to help myself, I will go through. I don't have one of the supplements. So the doctor had said to take Theragram, I think vitamin D, definitely iron because I'm anemic. All right, this one's not as great as slow feed because I gotta take it right before bed, otherwise I start feeling gross. This is my own research, B6, which I believe, this is not Theragram, I ran out, I ate it all. B6, I believe, is in this. Multivitamin. I also take colon and constipation. Not that I am constipated. I go regularly, but my stool is pretty hard. Of course, Advil. I read one lady had written that taking 600 milligrams of Advil 2 days before, you could look it up, 2 days before a period, it would lessen the blood. That may have happened a little bit. And of course, I was doing tranexamic acid, which hardly did anything, if anything. Okay, and I would take it as prescribed. And then the shepherd's purse. This is my pharmacy here. I wish I could show it all to you at the same time, but my computer doesn't go as low, and I don't have a little platform here. I could have gotten a platform. Shepherd's purse is apparently the natural equivalent of tranexamic acid. Maybe this helped a little. Then, of course, I put, this is matcha green tea. I hate to eat a ton of that because I read a study about that. And then I would say progesterone, which I don't believe I was ready. This is natural bioidentical progesterone, which I wanted. And thank goodness I didn't do, during my first sonata, she wanted to put an IUD in with the hormone dumping right into my uterus because and I'm glad I didn't do that because just an experience with this, which I don't believe my body is ready for. This is for people who have a lack of their hormones. They say that the fibroids are estrogen dominant. And I watched this other lady's video. I mean, again, these women who write in their perspectives and what their doctors are telling them. The blood in the uterus is full of estrogen, which the fibroids feed off of, which was a different way of thinking about it than what I had been gathering, because we're not being a doctor and at a loss here. I'm trying to understand why my uterus is operating the way it is. Besides what I had said, that the reason for the fibroids, and you're only going to hear from me, is when you have sex with the wrong person, the body keeps the score, it responds. Okay, you're going against what God and the natural course of human life wants for you, requires of you, and is necessary. So these fibroids in rebellion develop. That's just, I have 2 other sisters. I don't think that they have fibroids. One has had a heavy bleeding since she was a kid. I don't know. I think she has an IUD. I don't know. But I don't know how she's doing now. She monitors with exercise and stuff, but I don't think she has fibroids. Anyway, that's just my assessment. So make sure you do not have sex with the wrong person and play God in that, oh, the things can work out, this will work out, because no, I am a poster child for that. So the progesterone she put me on because I wanted to try that. It was back in October, now it's May. And I took it for 3 months, and immediately I think I started having more headaches. By the end of the 3rd month, it almost acts like a steroid. And I've been on steroids before for as part of the cocktail for cancer, for Hodgkin's. But it makes you hungry. So I gained weight. They say you gain weight. Well, you gain weight because you're eating more, because you're hungry. So now I'm trying to lose this weight, about 10 pounds maybe. Let's just say 5 to 10 pounds I gained, which is not good because I have high blood pressure and high cholesterol, and more weight does not help with that. So I discontinued this because I also had a feeling that it was not doing anything. Again, just like the tranexamic acid, hardly doing anything. I believe it caused my periods to last longer, the progesterone, and that, whether it was natural or unnatural, I think these hormones were just not right for me. It would have caused the same effect, even if it was the norethindrone. Okay, in my best estimation of my body and what happened with this natural stuff, and I was only taking 100 milligrams, and they wanted me on it continuously. She wanted me on it continuously without a break. So because at the end of the 3rd month, I was like, I'm bleeding longer and more. It's not, was at 11 days. Now it's 14. Now it's 17 days. I went through a withdrawal. So like they say, that did happen to me, a withdrawal bleed, which was a lot lighter, but a week later. So having a period that lasted 2 weeks, then a week off, and then another week of this withdrawal, just horrible. Okay. So the last period, okay, so this is how my period has been. 3 days of light, 4, 5, and 3 days of light, 4, 5 getting medium, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, like unbelievably heavy. Especially the 6th day, I would say, like as if my period was trying to end, but then there was a chemical signal from my brain to my uterus to say, hey, don't stop, keep bleeding, and bleed a lot. Like the clots were insane. And to actually get this progesterone, because I had sent a lot of messages through the system. This was before this whole thing happened with this, but I was still bleeding a lot, like the way I just described. But then this didn't do a thing. I actually sent a picture of what was in the toilet, and immediately they got back to me. I don't know why they didn't get back to me when I said I'd like to try the progesterone through the system. I mean, I didn't call, but the nurse practitioner over there, they get the messages through that system, so they just wanted to see me again. I guess. I don't know. Time to see me again. So after that, then I got the progesterone, nothing, the 3 months plus 2 more months, 5 months. At the 6th month, I went to go see her again. And this is when, then after I saw her, I had another period before I forget. And within that time, an acquaintance friend had told me about phosphorus. So there was 3, this is why don't you need phosphorus? So phosphorus is also a pill, but she's homeopathic. So I went and got the homeopathic, and I took that. They're like the tiniest things on the planet, like 5 little beads. And there's like 3 different kinds of phosphorus there. So I picked the calcarea. Relieves growing bone pain. I just thought that this one, I had looked up 3 different kinds, and I figured on this one. Plus, on sale was this Solaray Stages. And sure enough, unbelievably, I only took this one after on day 3 of my period. I decided to start taking this. Next time my period starts before my surgery again, I'm gonna take this day 1. For some reason, day 6, which would usually traditionally for the past over a year or two, the 6th day being the heaviest, I had like hardly any period. So I was like, what is it between this and all the other stuff? Maybe it's a whole combination of stuff. But I added this. This was making the difference. And this is for PMS and menstrual. Okay, because I'm PMS and menstrual. This is not postmenopause. Okay, this is the first one they have. Day 6, like, oh, I went for a walk. I'm usually like home in bed, running to the bathroom every other second of the year. And then day 7, hardly anything. Day 8, maybe a little bit of medium. Day 9, medium. Day 10, 11. But I did bleed up until 17 days, but not as much. I'm like, maybe I should cancel my procedure. So going into what my procedure is going to be, because when I saw the doctor, I said, I want the endometrial ablation. She's like, okay, that's in her office. And I had looked it up. I was like, my God, it's going to be in her office. She's going to make me take a cervical dilator, and I'm going to have, I was so stressed out about having these contractions. I'm like, I've never had contractions in my life. I've never been pregnant, never been, gave birth, obviously, never been pregnant. I was really, and I think that procedure was the cold procedure, CeraVe, but I already knew. There was that one, there was a balloon one, and then the NovaSure made the most sense to me because first, he was laser and sound like I like, or apparently just laser or something. It was the most effective. And I feel like she was going to finish the job that she should have done like 2 years ago. But I don't think that they did both 2 years ago, even though she said, both at the same time, even though she said she believed, like all the other women she had treated, that the sonata was going to do the job. So I feel like she's going to finish the job. Plus, she said she's going to, okay, so this treatment I'm supposed to have at the end of May, I'm going to be under. Oh, thank God I'm going to be under. I'm okay with being under, and that's fine, even though I have to go to a hospital all the way out in Brooklyn instead of in Manhattan, nearer to me. I asked already, please, not early in the morning. Thank God the nurse, the scheduler said they already had somebody that requested first up, because last time I was first up in the morning and you got to fast, and I don't like getting up when it's still dark out and going over there. I'm going to probably ride my bike over there. Anyway, she's going to do the NovaSure, which she said I have to be out for. She's going to do more sonata and also cut more out of the walls, because you see my fibroids are mostly intramural. I think I have only one out the outside of the uterus, but that doesn't apparently, from what I've read, assist in the heavy bleeding. It's the ones inside and growing inside. So hopefully I will have the works done intramurally. And even though I was like, oh my God, this and the phosphorus, maybe I should postpone, you know what, after I got over that, because, my mind goes kind of warpy also when I'm getting close to having my period. I've never been moody. Like, I've never had moods, but I've had, just tiresome. Oh, and the progesterone makes you tired. I've had tiresome, uh, and your body starts feeling a little different. I'm very in tune with my body in this way, as far as when I start feeling strange. So, yeah. So in how I was talking myself out of it was this excitement that this diminish the bleeding, and thank God I won't have to take as, I won't be as anemic. The anemia wouldn't have been enhanced by this last cycle, okay, because I bled a lot less. I bled a lot. Actually, the day 6 happened on like day 2. It was like medium heavy, but not as heavy as a usual day 6. It was like watery, kind of bloody, more, it's a whole bloody mess. I call it a bloodbath. However, after I came off of this, I said, I don't trust my uterus. I also read something that some other lady wrote, maybe on Reddit. She's like, I don't want my body to go through this anymore. It's like, yeah, instead of your mind taking over, saying, I can do this, I can do this, I can get there. It's like, why do I want to put my body through that again? So that that was another way of perspective of me, a perspective difference. I'm not used to thinking in that way. So I remember that person's note, and I thank them for that. And I repeat it here now because it was helpful to me, and maybe helpful to other people that have come from the same programming as I have. And if you watch my other videos, you'll see how I was programmed. So that's the update. I wanted to show you my whole, this is one batch, and what I do for myself, okay? And I will continue after this procedure. Hopefully all goes well and I survive, and I will finally have a difference. I'm certain I will still have a period. I'm not sure how many months it takes after that to actually see improvement. I'm thinking with the endometrial ablation, I'll see right away. I don't know why that was. thank goodness I came across a woman's video. I should actually comment on her video. When she started having fibroid issues, I think it was like the first cycle that she started having fibroid issues, and she was slightly younger than me, maybe 45, and she had 2 kids. She immediately, her doctor said endometrial ablation, and she immediately got back done. I don't know why my doctor didn't suggest that. I mean, yes, my doctor was a new doctor, the doctor who was going to do sonata, but she knew I went to her for the sonata. She could have mentioned that. Here I am, like 50 years old when I saw her at first. Anyway, my point is that this lady now does not have issues because she had a complete endometrial ablation. That doesn't mean that she doesn't continue to bleed. And the other thing that's kind of strange is I've read that the endometrial ablation only lasts a few years, like between 3 and 5 years. Like after I have this, plus the sonata, plus the more intervaginal removal of these fibroids, my bleeding could, if I haven't gone through menopause in 3 to 5 years, then my uterus can the endometrium can regenerate. So it's like, oh my God, but I got to do something for myself now. And I'm going to do that because I don't trust that I have a very strong uterus. Obviously I have a very strong uterus, even with all its deformities at this point. I had a perfect uterus up until probably my early 40s, maybe. I don't know. Didn't have any problems. I mean, as a kid, as you can see in other videos, I've always had problems with the bleeding as far as heavy, but not like unimaginably uncontrollable. Like a tampon on a pad could take care of it. This is insane. This is like billabongs of blood, as I wrote in one of my poems from a long time ago, when I was actually 19 or 20. And you know what? That came true. Okay. 19 or 20, I was not having billabongs of blood, but now I've lived this long, and now here they are. So, if you think it, and you can manifest it, just like you can manifest good things, you can manifest negative things. Okay. Positive, negative, healthy, unhealthy. These are all synonymous words. If you're going to be picky about it, guess what? You got problems. Okay. These are all different ways of talking about things to cater to the different ideations and sensibilities of people. To me, when you get to be as knowledgeable and experienced as I am, then you will know. As I say, it's almost like all roads lead to the same place. Okay, so you could take whatever road you want, but it means the same thing in this regard. So I think I covered everything. I just wanted to do an update that the sonata did not work for me in a combination of my age and situation, I guess. However, I totally recommend it for people that are not bleeding as heavily, that do not have clusters of innumerable fibroids, and for people that want to childbear. I mean, it's an awesome, awesome thing to be able to do a procedure intravaginally. You can get up off the table the same day and walk home. That's what I'm going to do for this next one, even with that additional NovaSure. I can't afford to have 6 to 8 weeks out, okay, of recovery, and I don't want to have pain. We all endure enough pain. Any pain is enough. So you tell yourself that you're not supposed to be enduring any pain. How's that? Okay? Just keep that in mind. Do not endure any pain. So, we tell ourselves that because we have endured a lot of pain. We do endure a lot of pain. So, enough is enough, as they say. Anyway, I hope this helps anybody. And yeah, I still, regarding my former relationship, just watched the other videos. I'm enjoying my peace. I'll just say I'm enjoying my peace, learning what peace is, and guarding my peace, identifying when certain situations can be disruptive or unhealthy, and so as to maintain the peace. Like I've said in other videos, there are things that happen to you and things that you allow to happen to you. So the idea is to get more control over the things that you allow to happen to you. Okay, I hope this answers everything. I'm going to say goodbye for now.